Hello friends, welcome to Kavita's classroom. So we are beginning with the law of variable proportions today. And before I begin, please like, share and subscribe. This is again my same request. So here we begin with the most important topic of the chapter, which is inevitably there in every UT, term test, midterm final, because this is the most important concept which is tested. Right. So here, whenever we talk about returns to a factor, try and understand the half battle is won when we understand this header. Returns means we are trying to check out the trends, right? Returning trends, the trends, how the production happens in terms of TP, AP, and MP, right? To a factor. A factor means we are trying to check that when we keep the fixed factors fixed and we are just increasing one by one the variable factors. So how those variable factors, individual factors, behave in terms of the productivity and output. So when we are trying to study this trend, this gives rise to the law of variable proportion, or we are trying to understand the returns to a factor. Why do we call it law of variable proportions? In our previous video also, I did tell you that under this law, what are you going to study? You would be studying that, say, land, labor, and many other columns would be made, but you would see land is the same, either 111 or 10 or whatever value, but it's going to be same all throughout. And the labor is going to be changed at every step, right? And this gives rise to the different input ratios, 1:1, 1:2, 1:3. That's why we say the law of variable proportions. It means at every step, the input ratio is changed, and we are trying to check when this input ratio is changed, how TP, AP, and MP come out to be, right? Or we do call it the law of diminishing marginal product. Diminishing means falling, marginal product means the additional productivity. So eventually we would find that the ultimate stage of any sort of production is, irrespective of increase in the variable inputs, we would have a stage of falling output if we do not increase the inputs with respect to land or the fixed factors as well. So point is, this is going to be the inevitable situation, and hence we say this is, law of diminishing marginal product sometimes is studied separately as a part of it. Means variable proportions law has got three stages, and out of those three stages, one stage is said to be the law of diminishing marginal product, where we show that the marginal product keeps on diminishing, right? So, what becomes the definition of this? It states that as more and more of variable factors is combined with fixed factor, the marginal product of the variable factor may initially rise, but eventually a situation must come when MP of the variable factor starts declining, right? So this is the statement of the law, wherein we need to tell that we are going for a mix of fixed factors all throughout and variable, right? So let us explain the same. As I told you, for any law, we have already talked about the definition, right? And the assumptions are that we're talking about short run. There are number of labors which are equally efficient here, right? And the fixed factors remain fixed, the technology remains the same. So these are some assumptions. Then we move to schedule and curve and the explanation for our ultimate goal. So units of labor are increased one by one. Units of land is the same. Right. I always recommend my students to understand that for every chapter, you would have a good hold and command if you just try to understand the expression and the format of marginal, right? And here this law tries to make you understand that there are three stages that marginal product, as and when for some production work, people keep on coming and contributing. Their initial stage is they give increased output, then their output starts falling eventually becomes 0 and negative, right? If you have this in your mind, then you would be able to understand and create your own tables. I want all my students to create their own table. They should not be mugging up from the books. So it's very simple. You begin from any value. Say this total is not given to us, we'll derive it from marginal, right? So we begin that for the production work, the initial output given by one labor and 1 unit of land is 2, right? So this law says that initially it would increase. So we are showing it increasing. 2, 3, and 4. Then there would be a stage when it starts falling. That if we are increasing the person beyond this also, means from 3 to 4 persons, 5 and 6 and 7, the productivity keeps on falling from 4, 3 to 1, 0 also, right? I have just tried to demarcate it. I'll show you how and why. And then it becomes negative as well, right? So if we want to find out TP here, 2 plus 3 gives you 5, 5 plus 4 gives you 9, 9 plus 3 gives you 12, then 14, then 15, then again 15, because the contribution given here at this stage is 0. And then it becomes negative, that is 14. So this way we are able to create the table very easily. You just know the trends. First MP has to increase, then reach its maximum, then fall down, reach 0, and then become negative, right? And you can have any data and derive TP therefrom, right? So till it is increasing, this is called increasing returns. Till it is decreasing but is positive, not in the negative zone, it becomes diminishing returns. And when it is negative, it becomes negative returns, right? These are the 3 stages. So this is important from practical aspect also. Numericals are given and you are asked to find out the denote and highlight the stages. So you would be just checking the trend of MP to know about the stages. Okay. So how we create the picture for this? MP is to increase in the initial stage, stage 1, reach its maximum, come to 0, right? And then become negative. Now, what would happen to TP? When every other person giving us higher and higher value, then TP would be increasing at a high rate, at a good rate. It would increase increasingly. Steep increase would be found when every other person is giving better and better and better result, right? Now, what happens after this stage? After this stage, whosoever is coming and contributing to the production activity is contributing because the data is in positive, but not to that high value. So because the contribution is there, addition is there, right? So TP does increase, but not this way. See, it's not as steep as it was going in the first stage. So it now starts increasing decreasingly. And that's why we call it a diminishing return stage. And the stage comes when this is maximum and it is called the stage of saturation. Beyond this, we cannot increase TP anymore. And with respect to this stage, you would have MP going 0. And if we keep on adding the variable factors beyond this also, then MP would be negative and TP starts falling. My point of advice is I have seen many students simply randomly making this way and this way. No, this way should never be done. Always first and foremost thing is show the stages. Then mark this way, like MP is beginning steeply and then gets its rise and maximum value, starts going down, reaches its 0 and then becomes negative. With respect to this transition only, TP is increasing fast, then increases slowly, means decreasingly. And here it is the maximum value and then it starts falling, right? So this is how we show. For AP, how the AP trends are there. AP rises, keeps on rising till it gets intersected with MP. And then after this intersection, it starts falling down. So how is the transition of AP? In stage 1, it is increasing. At stage 2, it is increasing till the intersection, and afterwards it starts falling, and in third stage AP is falling. So if we want to give the clear crux of the story, in first stage all three of them are rising, and in third stage all three of them are falling, but MP is negative here. In this stage, second stage, and most often the questions are asked from second stage only because this is the most different, right? That MP is falling and getting to zero, TP is rising, but is rising diminishingly, and AP rises till the intersection and then starts falling. So there are two, inherent stages of AP within the stage 2. And try and understand, when we talk about the nomenclature given, just try to relate it with the stages of MP. When MP is rising, it is increasing stage. When MP is falling, it is diminishing stage. When MP is going in negative, it is called negative stage. So if you just relate it with MP, you would never ever forget the names, etc. This point is called point of saturation, but this point, or you may say at this level, we call it the stage of inflection. What do you mean by the term inflection? Inflection means where the rate of change suddenly changes. Means till this point everything was going okay, but afterwards it started coming down. So this is the stage of inflection, and this is the stage of saturation. Right. So after this, we can simply be, when we are explaining for this law, we can explain it with respect to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And in this every stage, we would be talking about how TP, AP, and MP are behaving. Individually, we have to write about all these. And we should supplement the explanation with the help of the reasons as well. And what are the reasons? Just try and understand. The causes of increasing returns means the reasons for the first stage are fuller utilization of the fixed factors. Fixed factors at times initially when we are beginning our work, we have huge land and building, we have huge plant and machinery, and we have just 2 people, 3 people to work. So till we have the capacity utilization done, the output keeps on increasing because we are trying to utilize the fixed factors properly. Right. Then we talk about division of labor and increase in efficiency. What does it mean? It simply says that division of labor means with the repetition of work done by one person, right? The efficiency always is there. Try and understand, if one person does 10 types of job, he would not be the master. But if one person does one type of job repeatedly the whole day, he would have the perfection attained. So because of that division of work, because many people join in the production work, there is a increasing return to the factor, right? And better coordination with more and more people joining in. When the things are sorted, when the work is divided, people coordinated properly, they have a clear clarity about who would be doing what, and this way, with better coordination, the results are all the more positive. But when we talk about the negative stage or diminishing stage, the first and foremost reason for diminishing returns is the fixity of factors. Means every factor, every fixed factor has got some maximum capacity to engage the variable factors. Say our perfect ratio of fixed is to variable is 3. 1 is to 3, right? So if the person wants to increase the output, and instead of increasing it properly, like 2 is to 6, they keep on increasing from 1 to 3 to 1 to 4, 1 to 5. So this fixed factor is overloaded. There is a fixity. It cannot give much beyond that, right? And hence the diminishing returns start, because the extra people, instead of contributing more, now are contributing in a negative manner because they are not engaged by this fixed factor, right? Imperfect factor substitutability. More or less, this is the again the similar explanation, that we cannot substitute fixed with variable or variable with fixed. When we need to increase the output, we need to have it properly done. Wherever fixed factors are required to be increased, we need fixed factors, and where the other factors are required, we have to increase the variable factors. by only increasing the variable factors, we cannot increase the output to the required ratio, right? And then the poor coordination, where say 1:3 was our perfect ratio and it went to 1:5. So extra two people are, instead of contributing, creating troubles for others who are at work. So this is the poor coordination. And hence this leads to diminishing, and even if we go beyond that, they lead to the negative results, right? Assumptions I have already talked about. The ratio can be changed, means we are keeping one fixed factor and increasing the other at every next stage, 1, 2, 3. So the ratio is getting changed. And all the variable factors are homogeneous and equally efficient, and technology doesn't change, right? So these are the 3 stages being discussed in detail with the help of schedule, curve, assumptions, definition, explanation. And yes, third stage, negative stage, is not virtual. This is found in the real life as well. Right. So we are done with this. If you have any doubt, any problem, you get back to me. Yeah, there is one thing, postponement of law. What do you mean by the term postponement of law? Means this diminishing returns is an inevitable situation that has to happen. But if you just keep on improvising on technology, right? If you have some better substitutions discovered, right, for the fixed factor, then you can postpone it a bit. Means instead of this fall, you can postpone this fall at this stage, but the fall has to happen. Means you can extend this positive performance to some time, and inevitably it's going to fall. So we call this, that this, there is a postponement of the law which is possible with better technology. And when it comes to the relationship between TP, AP and MP, we have already talked about all the three. All three, TP, AP, MP, rise in the first stage. All three, TP, AP, MP, fall in the third stage, right? But MP is negative here, right? But when we talk about the second stage, that's most different, unique, and most often asked in the papers, that TP increases decreasingly, means slowly, because every next person is contributing lesser and lesser, meaning thereby is MP keeps on falling and reaches 0, and AP is rising till it gets intersected by MP and then starts falling. Right. So if this diagram is clear to you, you have the clarity of all the types of subjective and objective questions which can be put up to you. Right? So observations, this is what I have told you. As long as MP is increasing, TP is increasing at an increasing rate, then it starts at decreasing rate. Then we have corresponding to 0 MP, we have TP maximum, and when MP is negative, TP starts falling. It has been talked about twice, thrice, right? So similar is the ratio, similar is the relationship between AP and MP also. That's just the subset of this diagram. You can have the question of the relationship between TP and MP, TP and AP, AP and MP. So if this master diagram is clear to you, you can justify any question which is given to you, right? And this is a basic understanding. If child gets to know about this, so the person is less baffled by the diagrams. Like increasing MP, when does it happen? When increasing MP is there, TP rises fast. But when constant MP is there, TP is constant. And when falling MP is there, falling MP happens in the second stage. So the TP rises at a declining stage. Means here it is a curve. Try and understand the difference between the two. This is a steep rise and this is a curvical rise, because this is a steep rise and this is a fall. And MP is contributing to the total production, right? And where MP is 0, TP is maximum. With this, we have come to the closure of the chapter. See ya then. If you have any troubles, any doubts, your comments, your queries are welcome. Have a great day. Bye-bye.